Ladies and gentlemen, you might be asking yourself, what is going on with crypto right now? What position are we in? Are we going to go for a massive crash? Is this it? Is the top in? Are we only going to come crumbling down from here? Or what exactly is going on? So hopefully in 8 to 10 minutes, I'll be able to explain to you exactly what situation we're in, what we all think is going to happen over the next few months, and how to best take advantage of that. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you press that like button, because the way I see it, we're all going to print. Printing meaning here, do really well in terms of gains, because to take a step back, Bitcoin just hit a new all-time high. And to a lot of people, that might sound bad, because that means we've hit the highest point ever. But you gotta understand, we are right now at the start of a cycle. The cycle being where you go from only lower to only higher. I don't have the exact numbers on this, but if I can recall properly, back in 2017, when Bitcoin went for its bull run, we saw, let's say, about 30 new all-time highs. And that basically means we hit the 2013 or so all-time high. And then after that, we kept making a new all-time high about 30 times. So whereas the first time, if the all-time high in 2013 was let's say $1,500 in 2017, the moment it got to 1,500, a lot of people thought, oh, this is gonna be it. It's gonna go falling down from here. It went there, came down, I think 30% or so throughout the next few days, next few weeks, just like we saw when it hit all-time high now, just like we saw when it hit all-time high in 2021, an instant rejection at that level. But then over the next couple of months, 1,500, it went to, let's say, 1,600, a little back down, 1,700, a little back down, all the way towards almost 20,000. In the process, it hit a new all-time high, let's say about 30 times. After it hit a new all-time high, in hindsight, yeah, it was, I guess, the start of a new cycle of just downwards momentum for a while before finding a base, before starting that upwards wave again. Now, the last downwards wave started at the all-time high of 69,000, whereas it was only downwards for what? A year almost, until the middle of 2022 somewhere, after which the gains yet again started, with just slow climbs. And back then we said, better buy this dip, because if you just keep buying your way down lower, Bitcoin will always find a hold somewhere. And if we look 2 years into the future, we will most likely again see a new all-time high. We personally base it on the halving cycle, which is where Bitcoin's mining rewards decrease by, half basically for every block mined, and that's every 4 years, now happening in March of this year. April, let's say early May, but let's say April of this year. And usually a couple of months after that event, which happens every 4 years, that's when Bitcoin hits a new all-time high. And then over the next few months after that is where Bitcoin sets its new all-time high of the entire cycle. This time though, we hit it prematurely. We hit it before the halving even hit, which has never happened. But still, we expect, since in 2021, we also saw a new all-time high, let's say 20 times, that right now, since we just saw it once, that this is just the start, where over the next few months or so, we'll just keep going higher piece by piece. And since the institutions have also now come along with their Bitcoin spot ETF, but the Ethereum ETFs are up and coming, I actually think perhaps Ethereum might be better to look into right now, because at some point, the gains go from primarily Bitcoin to the big altcoins to smaller and smaller altcoins, with meme coins on the beginning and on the end of the cycle. But even for Bitcoin, it usually hits a new all-time high, like the permanent all-time high, the highest point ever. Let's call that the cap high, about a year after the stock market makes it, which now happened, I think, around December for the S&P. So we are expecting as well that perhaps Bitcoin will make this new all-time high, let's say 1 year from this point. So let's say March of 2025. Now, let's say a little bit earlier, because I personally think it might be December of that time. Whereas after that though, because at some point we're going to hit the highest point ever, let's say between December and June of 2025. At that point though, altcoins will still have multiple months of a run. And so the end of this season, we expect to be somewhere throughout the end of 2025, with altcoins really having the last few months to flourish. And so the strategy summarized is we just buy everything right now. Every dip, buy. Everything, buy until 2025. Then we start to reevaluate and perhaps sell a little bit every single day, or a little bit on tops. And even now, if you want to sell every time Bitcoin hits a new all-time high, like previous times, that was about 30 times or so, 20 times or so. Those are 20 small sells. you can definitely get away with that. For example, if you now put an order every $1,000 that Bitcoin goes up, but ever increasing. If you have $10,000 to sell, for example, if you start with a $10 sale and kind of move up every single time, as Bitcoin goes to $100,000, you have sold a lot, but that also means you've secured your profit now. Anyway, my personal thoughts are just wait until December 2024 and start cashing out small bits going into 2025, perhaps 1% every single day. And that's not 100% in 100 days. That means 1% of the total amount you've got left. So 1% first, then 0.99, basically, you kind of go down that list, 0.0099, you understand. And like I said earlier, at some point, you're gonna have to switch from Bitcoin to mostly altcoins for more gains, or if you just are fine with just getting a 3 or 4x, my opinion, right? Not financial advice, just my thoughts, then Bitcoin will probably still be fine. But that's in terms of what we think is going to happen. I think altcoins this run will do better gains than Bitcoin will across the board. And so it's a better risk to reward because I think everything will still pump, not only Bitcoin. So it's definitely nice to go for. But I think I just wanted to make this video mostly because people are afraid that we are not going to come back from here. And my simplest response is, in previous cycles, we always came back harder than ever before, especially when people start questioning things. Now, what I think the only thing you might be questioning is Bitcoin still the best, or can I better go to altcoins already? Because by now you guys know the cycle. Bitcoin to ETH/big altcoins to smaller and smaller altcoins. As people get comfortable with the gains in the one sector, they move down. The only time this might be different is because BlackRock and all those guys are now buying Bitcoin ETFs only. And so Bitcoin might increase more exponentially than altcoins will. And this time is the first time in a long time that Bitcoin as an ecosystem, as a network, is bullish because of BRC, because of ordinals, because of runes, and all that coming up and going hot right now. So perhaps it's not the worst idea to hold more of that than in previous cycles, but that's generally speaking the plan. Also, you can always sell altcoins if you've made enough profit, and I will remind you guys of one thing. Oh, I just hit some buttons, but it's okay. I've been here for a long time, right? And the most regrettable thing I've ever done, there's two. Even though I don't really regret things ever, I would just say if I had to pick something I regretted, be two things in the crypto space. One is not going harder on the investments when I knew I was right, which I am for now, at least as far as you guys know. I'm right on nearly everything because everything is pumping, but specifically the sectors I named like AI, etc. They're just so hot. We knew this already. I predicted this. The reason I have a whole TikTok about AI is because it's so easy to understand. It's huge. But in previous cycles, I didn't believe myself too much. I faded some of the investments, and I regretted that in the past. And the second part was, especially in the 2017 run, not knowing when to get out. And I'll tell you right now, many people that are your biggest crypto guys, they will sell at some point. They might even sell every single time we hit a top. Even though they're so bullish on crypto as a concept, people will sell. Do not be left holding the bag forever, especially if you're into the riskier areas like meme coins. You might see your money go up every single day, but at some point it's going to end. You might now see $10 million in your account, which could be $1,000 2 years from now. Remember that. Remember that this money will not keep going up forever. It's cyclical. As long as you remember that, I think you're good. But it's a hard one to remember when you just see your money going up every single day. Some of you guys asked, Dusty, you turned the 1 cent investment, like a coin that was a 1 cent, into right now it's at roughly $8, so an 800x, but before into 55 cents. Some of you guys might know which one I'm talking about. People ask me, Dusty, why do you sell them when you think it's going to go up even more? And I said, first of all, because I didn't realize I had this money. So the moment I found out I had it, because I lost it, I just didn't realize that I still had some money laying around somewhere, and it did a 50x. I'm happy at this point, right? I'm happy it did a 50x. I'll cash some out. A couple of days later, it's now at a 90x. I cashed them out again because I'm like, whoa. The rest I kept for in case, because I expected it to go up more because it did a 50x, right? There's clearly something here. And right now, again, from the 50x, it's now turned into an 800x. So from 50 cents to roughly $8, which is still a 16x from there again. And even now, I'm still holding a lot and I'm still not cashing on everything, but I sold a little chunk again at $6 to $8, let's say. $6 to $8.20, I think. And the reason for that is just because I've turned money that I had into 800 times of what I had before. I don't want to get too greedy here, my friends, you know. Yes, it might turn into 2,000 times or 3,000 times what I had before, but sometimes, you know, it's worth it to just take some profits where you've done really, really well on, because otherwise it feels like you're never making progress. or the progress that you felt you were making is going to be wiped out all in one fell swoop at some point. And it's not like I'm cashing out and using that for anything stupid or ridiculous. For the most part, it's just to fund new investments and try different new projects that can again do a 2000x. So yeah, that's mostly just my strategy. I notice it's starting to get dark outside. At some point the pool lights are going to turn on, and that's an annoying thing because these are on different electric things than my camera, and so I can't record with the pool lights on, which I think is going to turn on in like 3 minutes. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this little update on what I think is best to do in the market currently. I think videos like this I have to make every once in a while, even though I've done it before, talking about how to sell, what my strategy is, just to get you guys all on the same headspace of what I think the best way is to turn a little bit of money into crazy sums of money, but most importantly, do it in a responsible way where you're actually enjoying it over time, not just seeing a high balance for a couple months, but actually enjoying that over time. And I'll probably explain more about the selling strategy as time progresses. Right now, it's not that relevant, but soon enough, yeah, I'm gonna warn everybody because at some point, it might be time to sell it all.